Joel, an adventurer for life. It's been a while since I've made a video. A couple things have changed for me. First, I retired a couple of months ago, so I'm excited about that. It gives me more free time. And second thing you'll notice is my hair's longer. Third thing you'll notice is that I'm not on a motorcycle. I'm not in motorcycle garb. In fact, I've got my ski pants on. So the first 20 or so videos I made were motorcycling videos. I enjoyed them tremendously, but this is not a motorcycling channel. It's an adventure channel, and so there's going to be a variety of things that I do in videos that I post on the channel. I hope that doesn't disappoint anybody, and I appreciate, by the way, those that have subscribed and those that are watching the videos. Honestly, I've been a little surprised at how many people are watching and how many people have subscribed. You know, I did this primarily as just a way to chronicle some of the things that I'm doing and some of the fun that I'm having, and let my family and friends and whoever else might want to watch participate. So again, thanks. If you're watching and if you've subscribed, and if you're watching and haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do that. I'd appreciate it. I have skied for 40 years, and I picked up snowboarding probably 30 years ago. And if you know anything about snowboarding, you know that the equipment has changed pretty radically over that 30-year time period. The first time I ever snowboarded was in the probably late 80s, something like that. And at that time, snowboarding was brand new, and you wore a hard boot. You wore the same boot that you would have worn with skis, you wore on a snowboard. Now the binding was different, but the binding attach points were the same because the boot was the same. So you wore a hard boot on a snowboard, and one of the characteristics of that was that there was no flex, there was no give, and the board responded immediately to any kind of input, any kind of lean from you. Well, over a few year time period, we came up with new bindings, and it was this kind of real flex kind of binding. The boots got very soft and very flexible. No more of the hard boot, no more of the ski boot. They were boots designed specifically for snowboarding. And then also, the bindings themselves became something with, and I don't have my boots on yet, but it was just a strap that you buckled down, and there were two straps that go across your foot and one strap around your shin, and that's the way it worked. And the good part about that was there was a lot of flexibility. You could move a lot further without having an immediate impact on the movement of the board. The downside is, and for those of you that are skiers or snowboarders, either one, I think you know what I'm getting ready to say. If you've ever skied with someone who boards, it's a little bit of a pain. It's a little bit of a nuisance, because when they get off the lift, you're ready to go. When you get off the lift, you're ready to go. When they get off the lift, they've got to go, a lot of times, go sit down, go stick their foot in their binding, because it's required that you take one of your feet out of the binding, and strap in, you know, crank the straps down, get it set up, spin over, stand up, and then they're ready to go. Probably only takes 60 seconds most of the time, maybe a couple of minutes, but still, if everybody else is skiing, it's a little bit of a pain when people do that. And I've snowboarded a fair amount, and I know what it's like, so I try to only snowboard when I'm with people that ski relatively slowly and don't worry about the time. And honestly, I don't ski with people that way very much anymore. The people I ski with now are all fast. So what we're going to do today, or what has happened then, is that the industry recognized that, and they decided they needed to do something about it. So they've come up with these step-in bindings. Now I know there are step-on bindings. I know there are people that have already done videos about this, but the thing that I'm going to do today is I'm a guy who's snowboarded for 30 years, but really probably only 15 days total on the mountain with a snowboard. I used the original hard boot bindings several times. I used the flexible bindings, and today I'm going to demo and try out the step-on bindings. So you're going to see the whole process. I have never put the boots on I've never put the board on. I've never been on this thing. You're going to get raw footage of someone who's skied a lot, who's snowboarded a few times and is not an expert, and see how this binding works out and how the whole process goes. The things that I have seen about it and been told about it are that, first of all, the step-in process is going to be, you know, supposedly easier, and should be a lot easier than the strapping in. And then in a perfect world, you get off the lift, and as you're riding down the embankment, you put your foot in the binding and you're ready to go. I don't imagine I'll get to that, because it appears, at least from what I've seen of other people trying this, that it's not quite as easy as that. But that's the theory behind the whole thing. You get going just as fast as the people that you may be skiing with get going, and you don't spend a bunch of time on the ground strapping in. As far as the ride of the board, I've been told that the boot, and this makes a lot of sense, that the board is going to be more responsive than with the flex boots. Now, I don't think there's any way it's going to be as responsive as the original ski boots were with the original ski boot bindings. I think it's going to be in between what that was and the flex boot, because again, your foot is your heel is going to be connected to the back of the binding of the board, and so there's not going to be any flex in it. When you move, the board's going to move with you either way. So that's what we're doing today. Let me talk about one other thing. Where am I? I am in Maine, of all places. I'm in the mid-coast area of Maine, and I am at the Camden Snow Bowl. And so this is the Camden Snow Bowl. You see the Camden Snow Bowl sign, hopefully on that A-frame building right there. And you see, now this is not a resort. This is a ski slope. So you have that lift over there, which is the, you know, intermediate and what they call advanced lift. And then you have this lift over here, which is more for beginners, and I'm going to start over there. Both of these lifts have a pretty steep decline when you get off the lift. So I'm going to start over here, and because again, it's been years since I've boarded, probably 5 or 6 or 7 years since I've been on a board. And you know, so you're going to again see a rookie, and I hope that anybody who's considering buying these step-on bindings will, you know, watch this video and hopefully learn something from it. And I hope to goodness that I enjoy this today and have a good time, and I'm sure I'll take some falls, and we'll get that on video, so that'll be funny. But anyway, so that's the story for now. Let's go ahead, while we're talking about it, let's go ahead and look at the boot itself. So this is the boot, and there is what you clip into the back of the binding. By the way, I'm standing in the back of my truck right now. And then these clips on the side, here and here, are what clip into the binding. Again, I have done nothing with these boots. I've only tried them on to make sure they fit, and that is it. So you're going to get the real rookie thing. They sell most of this, more of this than anything else. I'm trying to remember what was on the bottom of it. Oh, great. I got a pink board. Anyway, this is the Burton custom board, and there is the binding itself. And you see here where the back of the boot clips in, and then you see here where the sides clip in. So let's give this a whirl while we're just standing here without me having the boots on, and see how this goes. So it appears that is going to pretty easily, the back of the boot here is going to pretty easily, you're going to be able to find the back of the, so you'll just put your foot in the middle there of the binding and be pressing back, and you heard it click there. And then the theory is that you lean forward, you put your weight, and you see that binding pushing out, the other side clipped, and then that's how you get your foot in the binding. So hopefully that's going to be relatively easy. And then to get out, you lift this lever here, and then you just step out of it by lifting up on your heel, and as you step, the toe part comes out. So with that initial introduction out of the way, what we're going to do now is I'm going to take my shoes off and put these boots on. And again, except for trying them on at the store I bought them at, I have not had these boots on. So we're going to see, you know, kind of what that looks like and what the process is like. I don't think it's going to be any big deal. I mean, I'm putting on a shoe. But you'll at least see what the process is like. This is one of those single, it's actually got these two cranks where you can tighten the boot down, and this, there you go, that loosens it up. So we're gonna put some Velcro in there. Okay, hopefully my foot's gonna go in there on the first try. It's not. So that cranks this down. Oh, you pull it out and it loosens it up. Pull it out and it loosens up. Now, my foot, if the Velcro is unhooked, is going to go in there pretty easily. So then you put the tongue down, Velcro that in, then you tighten this and push that down and slide that all down into the tongue, and then you got to push that back in. Then you start cranking this down to tighten the boot up. It's a pretty nice system. So you can adjust the how tight the boot is pretty well. Again, this is the Burton Photon. We'll leave that like that. And that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and put the other one on and just leave the video running. You really gotta loosen that thing up, which is fine. It's Velcro, pull tight, slide down. Pack the string in there, push the buttons back in, crank, and there you have it. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is show you for the first time me stepping into the bindings. And oh, one requirement, by the way, you don't want, obviously you don't want to get your pants caught into this, so there is a clip on the back of the boots where you slide the back of your pants leg to make sure that it does not get clipped in to the binding, because if it does, you're going to have some trouble getting out of it. So here we go. The first time ever, I guess I'm going to stand on this board, make sure it doesn't tip, and I'm just going to slide my heel down the back of this thing. And so it did not, the heel did not click in initially, and I had to lean back to make sure it was clipped in. Now I'm going to do it with the other foot, which is going to be a little bit harder. So that time I leaned back on the back of the heel to make sure it clipped in. And then you hear the first clip, and now I'm leaning to the right. And boy, that was really, really easy and nice. So now I'm going to try stepping out. I lift this up, I pull my heel out, and you supposedly, yep, you just step out. So we'll try this one. Same thing, lift your heel and step out. All right, I hope you get some value out of that demonstration. It's going to be interesting to see how the day goes. I'll start the next clip up on the mountain.